Hello world, in this lesson we're going to be using a Docker file to create our own custom Docker image. When we spin up this container from that image, it's going to have our web application already on it. Now, I already have all of these files for you, so go ahead and download the lesson if you haven't already, and we can take a look at what's going on in here. So if we click into this Docker file, you'll see that we're going to be using Nginx, and we're just going to be building on top of that, adding another layer here, and we're simply copying this app directory that I'll show you right now to the default HTML file of the Nginx image. This app directory simply has one index.html file here, and I can go ahead and show you what this end result is going to look like. We'll be able to go to localhost port 80 here, and we'll have this simple little web application. Cool, so let's get started. Okay, we're gonna wrap up this lesson in our IDE of choice, so make sure that you've downloaded this repository here from GitHub. And you're gonna navigate to lesson 2, so let's open up our IDE. I'm using WebStorm. You can use any IDE of your choice. Now WebStorm is nice because it's gonna interpret this markdown for me and I can see the lesson really easily here. It also has a terminal window, but this is a paid IDE, so you don't have to use this. Use your IDE of choice. I'm gonna go into the terminal because some of us might not have a terminal window in their IDE, so I'll just copy the directory that I'm in, open up my terminal. I'll change to this directory by going to cd and then typing in that path. If I do an ls, then you'll see very much what I have going on here. So let's recall in this Docker file, because we're about to build this Docker file in the next command that we have. Recall that we're simply just pulling from Nginx and we're grabbing the latest official image from Nginx. And then we're just going to come here and add a layer onto this image, and we're just going to copy what's in this app directory and put it on the user share Nginx HTML directory of the container. Or rather the image first, and then when the container runs, it'll have it on there. Cool, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to the README here, and it's gonna have this command that we can just copy and paste. Now it's gonna use my naming convention here. I'm calling this image my Nginx image with content, and I'm giving it a tag of latest. We'll explain some of this a little bit deeper in an aside, but in this lesson, let's just get this up and running. I'll go ahead and paste in that code there. And now if I run docker image ls, you can ignore these three here, but we can look at this image that I just created. So my Nginx image with content, it's going to have an image ID, and we can go ahead and run this image by going here, and we can build it into a container. So we'll just copy and paste this code here. So this is going to run this container, this is going to run a container with the image that we just created, right? So my Nginx image with content, and the tag is latest. That's the tag that we gave it, and we'll go into tags and an aside in one of the future videos, but just run this code and try to follow along. This RM here, when I stop the container, it's going to immediately terminate this container because we don't really want this. We're just testing things out. It's going to run it in detached mode, so it'll free up our terminal during runtime. And we're going to access this from port 80. So if your port 80 is already tied up with a different application or something, you can go ahead and you can edit this here. You can map your port 3000 to this container's port 80. It would work the same. For now, I'm just going to leave it on port 80, and we'll just run the code as is. So now if I do a docker container ls, we'll see that this container is now running. It's called the image was called my Nginx image with content and giving it the latest tag. We'll go more into tags later, and this was created 4 seconds ago. So if now I navigate to localhost port 80, I'll now see that application running, our container launched successfully, and we were able to pretty much bake in our web app into this image here. So every time we launch this container, it's already going to have this version of this website on it. So this is perfect. In the future episodes, I'm going to teach you not only how to build on the websites, right? So to keep iterating on this, but also we're going to learn how to publish these images to our Docker Hub account. That way we can go on a server, and then from that server we can pull down this image and run the container. So essentially we have this really quick from development to operations pipeline going down.